All right. For lesson 12, we are going to learn about lines, number lines, and tally marks. So let's start with lines. Geometry is a study of shapes. So there's a couple different things here that we'll use in geometry a lot. This is a line, and there are arrows at both ends, and that indicates that it's going to go on forever. Okay? So a line does not end. A point is just a single dot. It's just a point in space. A segment is like a line, but it stops on both ends. So the line is infinite, a segment stops, and that's why we draw dots on both ends. You don't have to have the dots, but it helps make more sense with what's going on there. So that's a segment. And this is a ray. A ray is a one-way line. So one side it stops, and then it just goes one direction forever in one way. I need you to draw each of those, please, in your notes. Okay, there are three different kinds of lines, or rays or segments, just three different types of directions they can face. We have horizontal, like the horizon. The sunshine coming over the horizon. Okay, so that's horizontal, is this way. Oblique is diagonal. Anything that's not exactly horizontal or vertical. So this would be an oblique line as well. Anything that doesn't count as horizontal and doesn't count as vertical. And vertical is tall. It's up and down. Okay? Okay. So, number lines are kind of complicated with how many pieces there are, but once you get it, they're easy to understand. So the red is a number line, and then I have all the pieces labeled. So a unit segment is the distance between two tick marks. So these are called tick marks, and then this is a unit segment. In this number line, a unit segment has a distance of 1. Or a unit segment is 1. On this side of 0, we have negative numbers. You see they mirror the positive numbers, so the further we went that way, the larger the negative number would be. And then these would be your positive numbers. This number line is using integers. Integers are all the counting numbers that we'd normally use to count, all the negatives of the counting numbers, and 0. I need you don't necessarily need to write down integers, but I need you to write down this diagram and label it, please. Okay, so sometimes you'll be asked to draw a number line with various directions. So we're going to practice one here. It says draw a number line with whole numbers from 0 to 5. So when you draw a number line, you start with a line. If you need a straight edge, get a straight edge. You have to put arrows on both sides because number lines do continue in both directions past what you draw. From 0 to 5. So I'm going to start with 0, end with 5, and I'm going to do the best I can to space out my tick marks evenly. It wouldn't make sense if I did 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That's silly. So what we're going to do is try to space them out. So 1, 2, 3, they're still too close together. How about 1, 2, 3, that's a little bit better. 4 and 5. Okay? Oh my goodness, I didn't draw enough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so that is a number line with whole numbers from 0 to 5. Make sure you get the arrows on the end and the tick marks as evenly spaced as you can in the middle. You don't need to draw that in your notes. Okay, sometimes we'll look at number lines that have letters on them for unknown values. So this question is, what is the distance between A and B? Well, first we should probably find out what A and B represent. This is 5, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots in between. So these are probably counting by ones. So B would be 3. Now this, if these are, each unit segment is 1, each unit segment is going to be 1 on this side as well. So I know that this is -1, -2, -3, -4. So how far is it from -2 to 3? I have to count my unit segments. Don't count your tick marks. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The distance between A and B would be 5 unit segments. Okay? Then we have this one. Now, this number line goes from 0 to 10, it looks like. Well, there might be more over here, but the 10 is labeled. Let's try to figure out what each of these tick marks is, because the question is, what number does C represent? Okay, so if I count by ones, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's too small. So that each unit segment can't be 1. That wouldn't make sense, because otherwise this would be a 5. But this is 10, which is twice as big as 5. So let's try making each of these 2 times bigger, which would be a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That worked out because I landed on a 10 and that's what I was counting by. So these are each 2. That's a 6. So what number does C represent? 6. All right. Our last section is tally marks. Tally marks are something we use on a regular basis to count. You do need to know, though, that each group should be a group of 5, so you do 4 straight, 1 across. Be consistent in which way you're crossing. Don't do a group of tally marks that has one that way and then another one this way. It's confusing, so whichever way you choose, be consistent. Okay? So this number would represent 8 because it's 5, 6, 7, 8. If I added more, now that's 12 because it'd be 5, 10, 12. You get the idea. For your notes, I need you to draw a number line correctly with whole numbers -2 to 8. Okay? Please count by ones in your unit segments. Also, I need you to draw an oblique ray.